thing, in this marriage thing, you have mentors and everything, but you as many as are led by the Spirit of God, you can hear God. You should be discerning. The woman was just like, are you sure it's not because of this thing? Why do you want to let this guy go? Other people will be like, this guy is very good for you. So I was still just there. And he said, come out from among them. And I went to lead worship. Afterwards, somebody came to me. And the person was like, oh, when you were leading this and that, just spoke to me prophetically. And they said, even the guy you are with now is not your husband. I said, yepa. At the same time. So it was at that point, I said, okay, Lord, I'm going to go your way. And all this while, I did not know that TK had any interest in me. You understand? So God, many times, he will not give you the full picture. He will just be telling you, obey me first, then I will lead you to the next step. So that was how I broke off the relationship. I broke off the relationship with the guy. And then, before you know, it's like, one day he called me and said, how is this guy? I said, we are no longer together. I didn't know that he was happy, And then, before you know, that was when he now said, oh, can we go out? It wasn't like a proper date safe. I took somebody in the house, the cook, our son, I took him to a movie. And then he called me when I was there. I said, I took him a little. And I said, when are you taking me? Just like that, like that. I said, okay, let's go now. That was it. That morning, that was when I saw that two are better than one. I'm like, God, what are you trying to tell me? And that was how he asked me.
Oh, wow. So apparently, Con was doing a lot of, instead of being roasted, he was roasting.
He said that when God spoke, of course, like from school, when I shared my story, he had that inclination, and then God also made it clear to him that this was your wife, but it wasn't time.
Right.
And so when it was time, I was already yoked with another person. So he went to do fasting and prayer.
Okay. So let me just so after school, I of course had some time to also pray. I did a fast. Well, wasn't basically for a wife, but of course was one of the things that I of course touched on. Seek God's face, direction as to life and maritally, yes.
And that was when God showed you.
So it became
clearer.
At
That this was
the time. That yes.
So was it like was it like you dreamt and saw her name, or it was just a confirmation, or you heard it, or there was a writing on the wall? Like she saw you, she saw Jesus in you being on the table. So what did you see?
Well, for me, I didn't dream. I didn't see her in the dream, but it was just impressed. There's just a knowing that you have.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
In my heart.
Right.
And I didn't say yes immediately. I was still doing like, I just came out of a relationship. I need to be very sure. This and that.
Now, wow.
That was how my husband was just appearing in my dream. That was how. And then one of my pastors, like, he meant very well. He had good intentions. Was like, you just came out of a relationship not too long ago. So before we'll pray about this, but come to family months in my church first, and then we'll talk about it after. Guess what? As he said, come to family months, I had a dream. And in the dream, I saw my husband going to meet somebody, like he was reporting everything, looking somehow down. I saw him living there, just looking kind of. And then I saw myself sitting before the person now. And the guy was now like, why are you waiting? He said, don't even wait for June 3rd, not to talk of June 7th. So at that point, I already said, okay, he asked me April 13th, and I'm like, by the time I'm sure by his birthday, I'll just tell him on his birthday. His birthday is June 7th. My own birthday is June 3rd. So the guy now said, don't even wait for June 3rd, not to talk of June 7th. If you wait, the guy now started laughing. And I woke up, I had to run I told Dr. Nuzo, I told the away, I said, I don't know what's the meaning of this, so this is the dream. And they said, better don't wait, because there's no objection in our spirits and everything. That's how I said yes.